Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Most people learn the truth about end-of-life costs too late. Don't be one of them. Watch now.
Your final goodbye shouldn't leave your family drowning in debt. Watch now.
Do you know Medicare has gaps that can drain your savings overnight? Watch now at Secure 65 Health Plans.
Secure 65 health plans where senior thrive.
Austin's cartoons are the best. They make my grandma laugh. Thanks, Austin. My grandpa can't stop laughing at Austin's cartoons. Thank you for making him happy, Austin.
Meet our resident joy maker and cartoonist, Austin Blockson. Bring on the laughter.
Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Money, and mortuary. Don't let that bill bury you. Hey, family, friends, and those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. I'm your host, Monet Swan, and welcome back to Secure 65 Health Plans on YouTube. Now take a deep breath, and let me start with a little reality check. When you're on Medicare and somebody gets really sick, or worse, somebody passes away, well, the bills do not grieve with you. Medicare has rules. Hospitals, well, they have rules. And cemeteries, oh yes, and mortuaries, they too have rules. And those rules basically say, pay us in full, or we can't help you. Sad, but true, and that's what planning is all about. Whether you want to get it for yourself, a family member, or a friend, you can gift it to whoever you want. But without cemetery property, there's not much gifting going on. So today we're going to talk about two things that nobody wants to think about, but everybody needs to understand. Number one, what's really happening with your Medicare costs for 2026? Number two, why you can't afford to ignore cemetery and mortuary planning, especially when you've got me at Inglewood Park Cemetery and Mortuary. And until something happens, well, you don't understand how important that is. Now, if you've ever said, oh my God, I had no idea, well, by the end of this video, you will. And you're going to be glad you watched all the way till the end so that you could handle life on your terms. Medicare commercials and sarcasm. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that the Medicare commercials all say the exact same thing? More benefits. Woo! More free stuff. Oh my gosh. Dental, vision, rides, a puppy, a toaster. 3 free cruises. Yeah, right. Meanwhile, nobody's talking about the one thing that actually matters. How much is coming out of my Social Security check, and how much could I lose if I get really sick? So today, I'm going to tell you the quiet part out loud. No cartoon characters, No smiling actors dancing in a park. No actors. Just the truth in plain English. Part A, hospital costs. Okay, you guys, so let's start with Medicare Part A. That's your hospital coverage. Think of Part A like the rent you pay to lie down in that hospital bed. Okay, now so it helps cover inpatient hospital stays, skilled nursing facility care, some home health, and hospice. Now, that's good news, right? But most people pay zero premiums for Part A because you or your spouse worked around 10 years and paid Medicare taxes, not just any taxes, Medicare taxes. But that does not mean the hospital is free. Every time you start a new hospital benefit period, well, guess what? You've got to pay a big deductible. You must pay first before Medicare picks up its part. Then, if you stay longer, you start seeing daily copays. And if you're in there a long time or in skilled nursing, well, those daily costs can look like a hotel bill from hell. And here's the part nobody puts in any of their fabulous commercials. Past a certain point in skilled nursing, Medicare stops paying altogether. And those days you're over the limit? Yeah, 100% on you. If you don't have a Medicare supplement or a really well-designed plan, those numbers are no longer theoretical. They come out of your pocket, your savings, your kids' inheritance, yeah, and even your grocery money. This is why so many people end up saying, man, I thought Medicare covered that. And Medicare is over there saying like, yeah, we covered our part. The rest is your problem, babe. Let's make sure we know who covers what. Part B, doctors, premiums, and why the check feels smaller. Now let's talk about Part B, shall we? Your medical coverage. Part B covers your doctor's visits, your labs and x-rays, your outpatient treatments. Basically, anything where you walk in and walk out, that's usually living under your Part B. And here's the headline for 2026. Your base Medicare Part B premium is now, ta-da, $202.90 per month. So if you're wondering, why does my Social Security check feel smaller than I expected? Well, it's because the $202.90 is coming out before the money ever hits your account. And here's the headline no one's talking about. Your Part B premium, well, it went up more than your Social Security COLA. Your Social Security check might have gone up, a few percent for 2026 with the cost of living adjustment. Great. Everybody clap for that. But Part B said, oh, you got a raise? Oh, so did we. The premium increase takes a chunk out of that raise before you ever see it. So some of you look at your deposit and say, man, why does this still feel like the same money or possibly even less? That's why. On top of the premium, Part B has an annual deductible. You pay the first portion of your outpatient cost each year. Your doctor visits, your specialists, and your tests before Medicare and any supplement start paying. After that, with just original Medicare, you still pay what? 20% of the approved amount. And listen, 20% of a big cancer bill is still a big number. If your income is higher, you may have that charming little thing called IRMA, an extra charge because you made too much money 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So what's the translation? You did the right thing, saved money, maybe even sold property, and now Medicare says, congratulations, and here's your higher premium. And you guys, I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this because pretending you're not paying it doesn't help. Knowing the rules lets you plan around them. Advantage versus supplement. Some real talk. Now let's talk about the big fight on TV. Medicare Advantage versus Medicare Supplement. Advantage commercials say, 0 premium, more benefits, dental, vision, rides, meals, hooray! But what they don't say is your copays can change every year. Your doctors can leave the network. And there's a maximum out of pocket. A big number you might hit if you get seriously sick. And sometimes the most important question is not what's covered, but is this treatment covered? You got to ask the right questions to get the right answers. So if you have original Medicare with a supplement, which is called a Medigap, your premiums might be higher each month, but your freedom is different. You can generally go to any doctor or hospital in the U.S. that takes Medicare. It's worth the money if you can afford it. The rules don't change on you every single fall. Now, I'm not saying one is always good and one is always bad. But what I am saying is this. You need to know what you actually signed up for. Now, don't wait until the doctor says, we need to start chemo right away. And then you say, well, wait, is my plan going to let me do this here? And is this the doctor and will he cover or will he be covered? Not the time to ask the questions, you guys. The purpose of insurance is to protect you when the worst happens, not just to give you a free gym membership or a debit card for your vitamins. From medical bills to mortuary bills. Okay, let's take a second deep breath. We just talked about the money it takes to keep you alive. Now we're going to talk about the money it takes, well, the nicest way to say this is when you don't make it. I know, we have been sold a lie about this discussion. Everybody should want to talk about this situation before it is needed. The conversation is not as hard as it will be if you don't talk about it now. And I want to set the record straight because I see it up close. Listen, death is expensive, and those working with you through a tragedy want their money up front. Which brings us to Inglewood Park Cemetery and Mortuary in Southern California, and why pre-planning is not morbid. To be frank, it's really merciful. Inglewood Park Cemetery and Mortuary, Preneed. The real talk. Now, let me let you in on a little secret that nobody explains until it's too late. When someone passes away, the cemetery and the mortuary are not saying, so sorry for your loss. Pay us whenever you feel ready. No, ma'am, and no, sir. It's more like, so sorry for your loss. Here's the total. We'll need that in full before we can proceed. No payment plan for the grave. No, let me see if the GoFundMe hits the goal. Oh, no. Can I just give you half now and half after the funeral? I don't think so. Cemeteries and mortuaries, well, their services have to be paid in full. So let me break this down for you the way nobody else ever does, because most people don't know the difference until they're sitting at a desk crying and filling out paperwork all at the same time. So let's start with the mortuary and how that works. Okay, so I want you to think of the mortuary as the funeral home. Think of the mortuary as everything that happens to your loved one from the moment they pass away until the moment of the service. Okay? So think of the mortuary as everything that happens to your loved one from the moment they pass until the moment of the service. Okay? They handle everything around that, like they're bringing your loved one into their care. They're preparing the body, which is washing, dressing, and embalming if needed. They are responsible for the caskets and the urns, viewing and visitation services, funeral or memorial service planning, flowers, programs, and the music, the hearse, and transportation. And last but not least, filing all the legal paperwork, which is like the death certificate and permits. So in simple terms, the mortuary is the care, preparation, and ceremony side of the process. It's the part where you're hugging people, crying, choosing a casket, and finding tissue anywhere and every place you can. Now let's talk about the cemetery, because the cemetery is where your loved one will physically rest permanently. So their services include choosing the burial space, the niche or crypt, the opening and closing of the grave, the vault if required, the marker or the headstone, the property itself. And trust me, land is not cheap. Last but not least, long-term maintenance of the grounds. So in simple terms, the cemetery is the real estate part of a funeral. It's the land, the space, the property, and the physical placement. You're not picking flowers when you're at the cemetery. You're picking where someone will be for the rest of time. Now, I want to really make sure you understand this because I didn't know. I've never planned a funeral, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing. But I am going to make it really simple for you so that you can remember. Mortuary equals the service, the ceremony, and the preparation. Cemetery equals the land, the space, and the resting place. The two different teams have two different bills, and they exist in two different worlds. However, you need both, and both want their money in full before anything can happen. So let me say that again, because folks miss this all the time. Both the mortuary and the cemetery must be paid before the funeral can move forward. There is no, and I mean no, can I pay next week? There is no, let me see if my GoFund hits this goal. And there is no, my cousin said she's going to cash at me on Friday. No, no, and no. Both sides need to be paid now or nothing happens. However, at Preneed, we can still help you with payment arrangements under certain circumstances. Now that is why I do Preneed counseling for Inglewood Park Cemetery, because doing all of this on the day someone dies is usually when you see the hurt people scenario. This is why most families end up stressed, confused, broke, angry with each other, and choosing things they didn't really want. Now let's talk about why you need me now before anything happens. If you talk to me before life happens, we can choose what you want. Lock in today's prices. Avoid emotional spending. Use payment plans that do not exist later. Save your children, your spouse, and your family from stress they're not ready for. And if you wait until someone passes, well, and almost everyone in the family and their friends are emotional, overwhelmed, fearful of being handed two separate bills, and signing things just to stop the pain of the loved one being gone and having to talk to others about the situation. And that's how families go from grieving to financial crisis. And don't get me started with someone who says, oh, I'm just going to be cremated. Like that's it? That's all you have to say and it's done? So I don't need to talk to anyone. You guys, that is just part of it as well. Where are you going to put the ashes? Do you want to put the ashes where everyone can come to pay their respects? Or are you going to take them home where they could potentially get lost? Oh, I'm serious about this. I have lots of stories where the beautiful vase housing the remains got transferred from room to room to room to room to the garage. And those who didn't know the ashes were in there, in that vase, sold it at a garage sale. Guess what? Gone. Now, no one can pay their respects. The niches are less expensive, and you can put them in a place everyone can come for generations. I think that's a little bit better. So think about it. It's less expensive than a grave. However, the niches at Inglewood Park Cemetery are beautiful. Whether you want to have them placed in the ground or in a mausoleum, we can handle all of those for you. Let's talk and prepare your family for the unexpected and eternal peace and rest. This is why we have over 70,000 subscribers and viewers who come to Secure 65 Health Plans every week to hear what most aren't saying. We offer protection while you're living and after you've transitioned. So click on the notification bell so that you will be notified when the next podcast goes live. Now, every week, well, sometimes 2 and 3 times a week, we will discuss any of the following. So you need to pay attention: Medicare, Social Security, retirement strategies, supplement and Medicare Advantage plans, hospital, heart and stroke, and cancer plans, along with dental, vision, hearing, all of that. We also talk about employment, AI, food, health, dieting, spirituality, and community. And pre-need planning with Inglewood Park Cemetery and Mortuary. Because what's the point of protecting your health while you're alive if your final expenses crush the people you leave behind? So just a recap. At Inglewood Park Cemetery and Mortuary, like most places, you are paying for things like the burial spot or crypt or niche, the opening and closing of the grave, preparing and restoring the site, the vault or urn, the service, the mortuary, preparation, viewing, casket, all of it. And if you are walking in there after someone has just died with no plan and no money set aside, you are under the worst pressure of your life. It's very, very challenging, you guys, to make decisions when you're not ready to make them. Guess what your loved one would have wanted you to do? Or even sign papers you don't really understand. And then somehow show up to pay $15,000 or $20,000 or more right now, not later, and not with a payment plan. This is how people end up saying, oh, I just give up. I'll just do whatever's the cheapest thing. Let's just, she's not here. He's not here. Let's just do this. We'll figure it all out later. Not a good way to handle things. This is why I'm emphasizing this so much, because if you guys don't get it, later usually looks like this. maxed out credit cards, family arguments, GoFundMe links on all social media, and people secretly, and I mean sometimes loudly secretly, resenting the dead person because of the bill, and then feeling guilty for resenting them. That is what, I don't know, that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get you to see this so that I can protect you from that experience. So now, once again, let's talk about the difference between pre-need and at-need. Pre-need equals planning before someone passes away. This is what I do. I do this for you. This is where I can actually help you when you do need pre-need. Why? Because you make the decisions while you're calm, not crying. You choose what you want, the space, the niche, the crypt, the mausoleum, and everything else you might possibly want. The prices are locked in at today's rate, not future rates. There are usually payment plans available. That makes it easy. Sometimes there are discounts available as well, and you get options, time, and clarity. Your family doesn't have to guess or fight when you do pre-need at Inglewood Park Cemetery with me. You sit down with me while you're calm. We talk about what you actually want. Ground burial, mausoleum, niche for cremations, crypts, what fits you spiritually, emotionally, and financially. We lock in pricing at today's rate, not whatever the price will be 10 years from now. In many cases, there are discounts and structured payment options, and even 0% financing while you're alive and healthy that do not exist, and I mean don't exist at the time of death. That brings me to pre-need equals peace of mind plus lower cost plus choices. Now let's talk about the opposite side, at need, planning after someone has passed away. This is what I cannot help you with. I am only a pre-need counselor. This is when everything becomes urgent and stressful. When it's at need, everything must be paid in full. And I mean right now. There are no discounts. There are no payment plans. And there are no let me wait until the GoFundMe hits the goal. And there's no negotiating. Decisions must be made quickly and under emotional pressure. You guys, families are overwhelmed. They're grieving, confused, and often shocked. I know I was shocked by the cost that you have to pay. At need means you are sitting at a desk crying, swiping cards, calling relatives, and trying to figure out what your loved one might have wanted, all while the bill is sitting in front of you. Not a comfortable place. So remember, at need equals full price plus full stress plus no flexibility. Now, why I can't help you with at need? Because at need is an emergency service handled immediately by the cemetery and the mortuary teams. So you guys, at that point, well, there's no time to set up a pre-need contract. There are no payment plans allowed by law. There are no pre-need discounts available. Everything must be completed the same day or the next. The family must pay up front to move forward. If you wait until someone dies, I cannot help you with pre-need. At that point, it is at need and everything changes. At need means, again, you lose the calm, you lose the time, you lose most of the flexibility, and you may end up buying something that is not what your loved one would have chosen, simply because you're in shock and the bill is due now. Now, by the time it's at need, my hands are tied. The system does not let me change anything. This is why I always say, please don't wait until someone passes away to make decisions. Because even if you are single, buy a plot for two. It's actually cheaper. And if either one of you want to sell your part because, I don't know, maybe a loved one doesn't have one and needs one all of a sudden, like at need, you can offer one of yours for free or sell it to them and let them make payments to you if you have already paid for your plot in full. Because let's face it, cemetery property is real estate and it typically goes up in value and price just like any other real estate. So talk to me before something happens, or you'll be talking to someone else wanting the bill paid in full. The bottom line: pre-need equals planning ahead, lower cost, payment plans, peace of mind, I can help. At need equals emergency, full price, no payment plans, high stress, I cannot help. Most families don't realize this until it's too late. But now you guys all know, and you can make a better choice. Best of all, I can offer up to 7 years for financing, 0 interest financing, a coupon with $500 off, and up to $3,000 off lawn crypts and other discounts when you talk to me. But it must be pre-need, not at the time of need. I can't stress that enough. There are significant discounts through the end of the month of November, so call me today. Don't let someone's death kill you financially and emotionally. Don't let grief make you sign something you'll regret and can't afford. Talk to me before something happens. Now, let's wrap it all together. Medicare plus pre-need plus your role. Okay, you guys, so let's put this all together. Medicare costs are continuing to go up. Your Social Security only went up a little bit. Medicare Advantage and supplements and Part D, well, they're shifting every single year, as always. And on top of that, funeral, cemetery, and mortuary bills are waiting at the finish line saying we want it all in full before we move the first piece of dirt. You tell me, does that sound like something you want to walk into blind? Or do you want someone who will sit with you, explain it in real, simplistic language, maybe crack a joke to kind of make you smile when you feel like you're about to cry, and help you build a plan from birth to grave, literally? That's what we do at Secure 65 Health Plans, and that's what I do personally with Inglewood Park Cemetery and Mortuary. Pre-need counseling that respects you, your faith, your family, and your finances. Collaborative Expansion Foundation, a 501c3, senior advocates will help you with Medicare and Medicare Advantage reviews, supplements, dental, vision, hearing, hospital, heart attack and stroke and cancer plans, vision, dental, and hearing, annuity and life insurance, Social Security timing and retirement strategies, and pre-planning your cemetery and mortuary arrangements so your family doesn't have to guess or go broke later. Now, if you got $50,000 just sitting around and you're totally fine dropping it in one day when someone dies, well, okay, maybe you don't need me. But in this economy, why wouldn't you plan for the inevitable? Especially if it's going to save you money. Personally, I don't think anyone can afford to ignore this, unless you have already taken care of your final resting place needs, and for that, I commend you. So here's what I want you to do today. Number 1, call me and schedule a Medicare and pre-need review. Number 2, we'll look at your current Medicare, your cost, and whether it actually matches your health situation and your needs. Number 3, then we'll talk about what you want for your final arrangements at Inglewood Park Cemetery and Mortuary, calmly and ahead of time. Number 4, I want you to share this video with at least one person you love. Your spouse, your adult child, your prayer partner, your pastor, somebody who will be standing at that desk if something happens to you today. So in closing, my message is simple. Don't wait until crisis day to learn how the system works. And don't let someone's death kill you financially or emotionally. Call me before the need arises so you don't have to call somebody else when it's too late. So that's it for me, fam. Once again, I'm Monet Swan with Secure 65 Health Plans, here for your Medicare, your retirement, your pre-need, and everything for the life you're living now and the way you want to be remembered. So for now, thank you for joining us. I love you all. Stay informed, stay protected, and as always, stay golden. Love you guys. Bye.
Secure 65 class planes, we're singing fly. Secure 65 health plans, where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans, where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans, where senior thrive. Secure 65 health plans, where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans, where seniors thrive.
BibX Wealth Insurance Solutions.